Welcome to the live stream. We are having another conversation during National Rehabilitation Awareness Week, getting to meet some of the team across the system here at Mary Free Bed. Yesterday, we were talking to some of the team out at Mary Free Bed and Covenant out in Saginaw, and now we're bringing it back here to Grand Rapids. And we're going to be talking with Andrew Young, physical therapist, part of Mary Free Bed Rehabilitation Hospital, working on the inpatient team. Andrew, thank you so much for joining us and being part of the live stream.
Happy to do it.
So Andrew, tell me a little bit about yourself and what your role is here and how long you've been working in rehabilitation.
Sure, yeah. So I've been a physical therapist for almost 10 years. It's hard to believe it's been that long. My first 7 years, I was in an outpatient setting, actually doing a lot of sports rehabilitation, as well as like orthopedic surgery. So knee replacements, rotator cuff repairs, that sort of a thing. So I did 7 years there, and then I decided, you know what? I really wanted to change it up. I really enjoyed my hospital rotations as a student, so I decided to look into Mary Free Bed. I had never heard anything bad about this place, so I came in, and I've been working here for a little over a year now, and it's been a really great experience.
What was that move like going from outpatient therapy to inpatient therapy? I know sometimes our team will jump around and do that, or we bring people from other facilities to come in. What was that change like for you?
Think like, wow, that must be a huge shift. And there are changes for sure. But there's, I think, more in common than what people realize. I think a lot of physical therapy is having the ability to listen, communicate, read a situation, be adaptable and see what's happening in front of you, and being willing to change whatever plans you may have had for a session based on what you're seeing and hearing from a patient. And so a lot of those skills, the communication skills especially, directly translate no matter what setting you're in.
What's it like? You're in this big, huge facility. We're just looking at a picture here, and there's so many different floors. There's so much parts and groups that are working within here. Physical therapy is just one component of rehabilitation. What's it like working in this multidisciplinary team and collaborating with so many other clinicians?
That's a good question. I think that is one of the things I really like, and that is pretty different than my outpatient job. In outpatient, I am communicating with physicians, but it's a little more interspersed. I get almost no face time. Whereas here in the hospital, I am seeing the physicians face to face almost every single day. I eat lunch with my coworkers who are speech language pathologists and are occupational therapists, and we're constantly communicating and having a dialogue about our patients, what's working well, what's not working well. So I really like that collaborative aspect.
In stepping back to, this is a chance, National Rehab Week is an opportunity to talk about rehabilitation, to spread the awareness and to educate about it. How would you define rehabilitation? What does that mean to you?
I think it's important to think about rehabilitation in a holistic sense. When people think about rehab, they think getting stronger, getting in and out of the bed. Can I walk as far as I want to? Can I go up and down stairs? And that is a huge part of rehab. But I think about it in terms of, mind, body, and spirit. I heard somebody say, one of my mentors from a while ago, so it's about building confidence. It's about showing somebody what they're capable of. It's about taking the opportunity to get people outside and breathe in fresh air and feel the sun on them after they've been in the hospital, sometimes for like months and months. So I think about it really holistically, not just about, can you get up and stand and walk, although that is very important.
Can you paint a picture for me too? So we're in the hospital. We can look out the window here and we're just talking about getting outside, and the sun is starting to shine. It's looking nice. Kind of just tell me where we are and what are some of the things that you do around the facility here. So we see patients walking by. We're seeing, some, therapy going on right in the background over here. And we've got our terrace out here. So just kind of paint a picture so people who've never been inside Mary Free Bed, what it looks like in here.
We are in the main hospital at Mary Free Bed, downtown Grand Rapids. I believe there's 6 floors in this building. My home floor is on the third floor south end of the building, although we all kind of float between 3 and 4 to help each other out. One of the things I like about this hospital a lot is there are lots of big windows. My day-to-day routine, I'm seeing patients and working with them for about 6 hours of my day, sometimes a little bit more than that. We're walking the halls, we're practicing stairs, We have a huge terrace area that you had mentioned earlier. When the weather is cooperating, we go outside and we do walking and balance exercises and strength exercises out on the patio. So I'm really moving around quite a bit, moving from room to room, focusing on strength building, walking, and getting outside and in front of a window as much as I can.
And we talked about your role a little bit as a physical therapist. What are maybe some things we might not think about physical therapy? It's, you know, it's probably the first thing people think about with rehabilitation, but how does physical therapy, is it just one component of the bigger picture with a patient?
One of the things I like, we talked about this earlier, is that we have a multidisciplinary team and a really cool kind of holistic approach. Physical therapy, it's not just building strength and getting you out of bed. It's also, I think, a lot of building confidence in an individual. I think sometimes my job is to show people what they're capable of. And for whatever reason, really valid reasons, people are often nervous or just apprehensive after being through a major medical event to get up and get moving again. And that's super understandable. And so, one of our jobs as a physical therapist is to set you up for success, uh, challenge you, and really show people what they can do and how to do it safely. So there's a really big confidence building component. One of the ways that I think we build confidence is we really specifically show people what is getting better. So one of the tests we do with patients here, it's an endurance test. It's really standardized, it's straightforward. It's called the 6-minute walk test. Your goal is to walk as far as you can in 6 minutes. Day 1 or 2, we do this test and we measure exactly how far you walk. Then about every week, or when you get close to discharge, we do the test again. And almost always we see really big improvements in that test. And it's so nice and fun to be able to show some actual hard numbers for somebody to say, hey, when you got here, you were walking 50 feet in 6 minutes. That's all that you could do. And today you just walked 200 plus, 1,000 feet plus. So that is really exciting and rewarding to do with people.
That's what I hear over and over again from the staff that work here. It's just the how rewarding it is to work with the patients. Um, the Do you have any like success stories that you've had from recently with team, what with the patients that you've worked with? Something that's really kind of resonated with you that has really kept you going?
Thankfully, we see a lot of success here, which is partially what makes the job so like worthwhile and rewarding, and what ultimately keeps me coming back is seeing people get better day in and day out. So, the 6-minute walk test is a really good example. I'm constantly seeing people just like shatter initial expectations with their endurance. I had a patient a while ago who, for whatever reason, she was in a wheelchair, going to be in a wheelchair for a little while. And one thing we were working on was being able to push herself up a ramp. And when she first got here, she did not have the arm strength to be able to do it. And by the end, we circled back to the same ramp we tried the first day, and she was able to power herself straight up the ramp. And I think there was a look on her face like she wasn't expecting to be able to do that. And so to see her succeed and kind of break through that is really exciting.
Tell me a little bit about your team. You're part of the medical complex team. What are the types of patients that you see and the types of injuries and illnesses that you're working with people there?
I would say first and foremost, we are working with people that have had a significant cardiac or kind of respiratory or pulmonary issue. People who had a really rough go with COVID, for example, and were in the hospital and maybe on a ventilator for quite a long time, will come here after they've kind of medically stabilized, and we're trying to build them back up, build endurance, build strength, those sort of things. So like cardiac surgeries, respiratory failure is kind of like a big broad diagnosis that can happen for a lot of reasons. People who've been on ventilators for a really long time, but also people that, have broken bones because they had to fall at home, or oncology patients who have maybe had a recent diagnosis, had a surgery, and are looking to kind of bounce back and improve their strength and endurance before they go back home. So it's really kind of like a grab bag, but those are two big buckets for our team.
I've talked with a lot of staff who've had unique stories on how they got into healthcare. Do you have any reason what motivated you? What drew you to the field?
So I would say first and foremost, my mom is a nurse. So she was the one who I kind of watched her day in and day out, and you
Sorry,
know,
I lost you there a little bit on
oh,
the
no
end
problem.
there. If you can just start over again. So I'm asking you about your motivation for coming in.
Sure. So my mom has been a nurse for quite a long time. So she was the one who initially got me interested in healthcare in general. Um, as I became interested at the end of high school and in college, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, which is a big question, but I started to shadow and look at all sorts of different healthcare professions, physicians, physician assistants, physical therapists, all sorts of things. And one thing that I thought was really interesting about physical therapy is it's this sort of cool hybrid between traditional Western medicine and holistic fitness, health, and wellness. So, our interventions as physical therapists, it's primarily health and fitness promotion, exercise, movement, education about how to live a healthy lifestyle. But there is also a really traditional Western medical component where we're screening vitals and we're monitoring the medical status of our patients. So I really like that kind of hybrid approach that we learn and are taught as physical therapists.
What keeps you busy when you're outside of work? We have talked to a lot of the staff too who've got interesting hobbies that they're into. Like when you're not treating patients and you're not here working, charting or working with them, what are some of the things you like to do outside of work?
I like to go rock climbing. I There's a rock climbing gym here in town, and it's a fun way for me to stay active and keeps my brain engaged. So that's probably a main hobby of mine. Also, I've got a daughter at home. She's 3, so her favorite place in the entire world is the park. So I'm probably there most weeknights with her. So yeah, being outside and being active as much as I can.
So you said you heard about Mary Free Bed before coming here. What has been like your experience in the first few years here? What have you enjoyed and what makes this place different than other places you've worked?
In general, the culture here is really good. You don't have to be a healthcare professional for too long to realize that different facilities have different cultures and different hospitals have different cultures within them. And I really do think that this place is full of a lot of positive people. One of the things patients say a lot is every single person I have run into has just been incredibly nice and caring and accommodating for me. I mean, I hear that all the time. So I really do think that this place has a unique culture that's different than other places in town.
And stepping back again to just why we're celebrating National Rehabilitation Awareness Week to highlight the field, highlight our staff, and how it can benefit patients. Just bigger question, you know, why rehabilitation? Why is it so important? Why should we celebrate it?
Yeah, I think, I guess when people get sick, they mostly think about, I want to be medically stable and safe, which is incredibly important. But I think that our job here is really important. And it's not just like, are you still uh, alive? Is your heart beating? Are your vitals safe? It's how do you get back to a certain quality of life and living that brings you joy and fulfillment? And so I really like how, we are grounded in medicine, but we're also sort of bridging the gap for people and taking it the next step. It's not just have you kind of made it out of the acute care hospital, but can I go home? Can I walk? Can I be with my friends? Can I participate in things that bring me joy? So I really like kind of taking it one step further.
And so you've made that jump from working in another facility to come here. What would you say to someone who's maybe working someplace else, maybe another state, another region, another town, just working in healthcare, or maybe even they're thinking about going to school for something like this? What would be your sell for physical therapy and working here at Mary Free Bed?
Physical therapy is a really rewarding career for sure. I mean, there's really no substitute for working with somebody and seeing them improve and break their expectations and get better day in and day out. That is very rewarding. And it feels good to help people in a tangible way. It's very obvious and clear that when you're in here working, you're on the ground floor caring for somebody that's been through something really traumatic. So, at least for me, and I think a lot of us here, that's something that we can easily find purpose in, particularly as a profession. Like I was saying earlier, I think like Mary Free Bed in particular, the culture here is really, really good and positive. Um, you know, I every single day have patients who are really thankful that they landed here in particular. Just yesterday, somebody told me, I just can't tell you enough how like thankful that I am that I had the opportunity to come here and rehab before going home. So I do think there's something really unique about what's happening here.
Andrew, I want to thank you so much for chatting with us. This has been another Meet the Team video here for National Rehabilitation Awareness Week. We've been talking with Andrew Young, a physical therapist from our medical complex team here on the inpatient side of the hospital. We're going to be checking in with more videos throughout the week, getting to know more of our team here around the hospital, around the system. We're going to be talking to respiratory therapists, occupational therapists, some from our orthotics and prosthetics team, another nurse. We're going to be visiting across the state to some more of our teams and across the system. So once again, make sure you thank your clinicians, your rehabilitation professionals for all their hard work. And hopefully we can help you out at any type of injury or illness that you need. If you need more information about Mary Free Bed, check out the social channels or go to maryfreebed.com. Also, if you're interested in getting involved in volunteering or even joining our team as an employee, go to our careers page for more information. So thanks again, Andrew, and thank you all for watching.